Hi, I'm Tina-Desiree Berg reporting for Status Coup News. We are in Atlanta at the site of Cop City, which is in DeKalb County. It's a forest area that is going to be converted to a police training facility. So there's been a group of activists and forest defenders here the last few months trying to stop that facility from happening. Some background on the facility is that it's going to encompass 85 acres of land. This area was previously a prison farm, and before that it was some other things, including a plantation, so there's a history here. But the local constituents don't want Cop City to happen. There's environmental issues, including building a larger gun range that would cause poisoning for the South River. Obviously, they're more concerned also about militarized police and having that escalate. And to give you an idea of the size of this, it's twice the size, I'm told, of the LAPD facility here in Atlanta. So I'm going to walk you through right now the camp that was cleared out this week by law enforcement. A protester was killed, Tort is his name, by a state trooper a couple days ago. We have conflicting information as to what happened. They're claiming that an officer killed him in self-defense, but it seems that they have also released two different stories, one that he was in a tent, another that he wasn't. Activists think that it might have been a friendly fire where the state trooper was shot in the abdomen. He's currently in the hospital. So let's go ahead and take a look at the camp. This is where they have torn down some of the signage that was here. You'll see it says People's Park, Save Weelani, Fire the Bosses, Free the Land. Over here on the right side is one of their old buildings that they had erected that's now been torn down by the police. You see an old kind of an Afghan-style blanket on the trees. And then over here, I wanted to point out some of the stickers. Stop police brutality, abolish power, grow freedom, no borders, an anti-fascist flag. Defend the forest from colonizers, right here. BLM. I maybe try to pull that out a little bit. Don't destroy Mother Earth, protect our future, defend the forest from colonizers, cops, protect indigenous lands. We have a tree here that says stay back. When the last tree has been cut down, last fish caught, the last river poisoned, last fish caught, last river poisoned, only then will we realize that one cannot eat money. Protect our future. So here outside of the Cop City encampment that has now been dismantled by the law enforcement, we had Torta, who is a tree defender, forest defender activist, was shot and killed by a Georgia state trooper this week. Here is a memorial for Torta, I'm guessing with some of his favorite things. So I also want to point out on the light sign here, it says Stop Cop City on one side, and they've now put up a flyer for Torta, who is the activist forest defender that was killed this week when he was shot by state troopers. Oh, man, you can just see where they've demolished things. This one says, with love, remove house, restore house. All right, so I want to go over here. There is some painted rocks that looks like they put together like a path almost. I'm not sure what was here previously. We have a peace sign over here. We have a heart that says BLM. All right, so here you see they've created a path with lots of signage. Abolish police. ACAB, abolish war, love life. Save the planet. Wander well here at the fine. Be kind. Love is the answer. All right, Cop City will never be built. And then we have another flyer for Torta, Rest in Power Torta. Trans love beats turf hate. Destroy capitalism before it destroys the planet. No racism, no nationalism, no anti-Semitism. Atlanta Solidarity Fund. All right, so we have more painted concrete slabs over here. We have more painted concrete slabs, some trash that was probably part of the camp. A lot of anti-fascist signage. So just some more background as we're walking towards the camp. This was never done in the open with the constituency here in Atlanta. They had one meeting that was 17 hours long. 70% of the comments were against building Cop City. So, the city council voted 10-4 to approve it. But it seems that most constituents, not just the activists that were here on the ground, aren't okay with Cop City being built. But the politicians are ignoring it. So the reason that is, after talking to a handful of people, the reason that is because there's money involved. The Police Foundation has massive corporate sponsors, and the Police Foundation is funding $90 million of this. So their corporate sponsors include Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan Chase, Waffle House, Delta, Home Depot, UPS, Amazon. So that's $90 million on the table, and it's both parties. It's both the Democrats and the Republicans that are supporting this. The current mayor is actually a Democrat. The trees love you, love them back. I think this was definitely more probably camping that was done over here. Our woods, not Hollywood. Something in French, right? Save the trees. Stop Pig City. Land acknowledgement. Atlanta Forest is the Muskogee Creek. Is it creek? Cherokee people, indigenous caretakers, and black descendants. All right. Looks like this one was cut in half, actually. DeKalb County lets him. Yeah, this was cut in half. I don't know. We should point out that they already have a training facility here with a gun range. So there's already been some environmental pollution, but they want to expand that. And the concern is that lead and arsenic will get into the water, the South River, and poison the land. Something like 80 to 90% of the folks that live here are actually black folks. So it's definitely a form of environmental racism. All right, so we're going to keep going here because nobody's stopping us, right? Oh, I also wanted to mention, I thought this was an interesting tidbit. Andre Dickens, who is the current Democratic mayor of Atlanta, he had the CEO of the Police Foundation serving on his transition committee. So there's obviously a close connection between Mayor Dickens and the Police Foundation in Atlanta. Yeah, 100%. All right, so this looks like this might have been part of a camp where some of the tree defenders were. For background now, there's been 13 now charged with domestic terrorism charges, which is a pretty hardcore charge for a protester exercising their First Amendment rights. No good cops, no bad dogs. Oh, what's out here in the middle? Is that closer to where they're... Where?
This trail?
Is that a trail?
Hell yeah. Stay away from high grass for ticks.
So we're now inside the forest. It looks like this is the remnants of one of the camps. Let's go check it out. Is anyone there? Just in case. I don't think there's anyone there. Press, if anyone's in there. We're friendly press. No, I don't think there's anyone here. Wow. So this was the okay. This was leftover campsite, I think, for one of the tree defenders, or one of the forest defenders, pardon me. So we're now walking through the forest where the Cop City site is going to be built if it's not stopped. It's a beautiful forest here. This is where the forest defenders have been camping the last few months. It's also where one of the activists was killed by a state trooper a few days ago. All right, so here we are at the tunnel that is called the South River Trail entrance. So I think we have more forest defenders that were down here. We see some graffiti on the trail entrance on the bridge here. Of activists that have put their names on the wall. Maybe not. Could be unrelated, but some of this might be existing graffiti that has nothing to do with Cop City, I think. Long live Weelani, which is the name of the forest. R.I.P. Zebre. Oh, here we go. Get this side. No forest, no peace. Save the forest. With a bunny. Save the forest. So again, we are inside the forest where Cop City is slated to be built if the activists are not successful in stopping that. The movement that has pretty much been cleared out of the forest defenders have been cleared out. We lost an activist this week. Tort was killed by a state trooper. It's been pretty much a decentralized movement. There's no real leadership. The campus where Cop City is going to be built is 85 acres of land here in the forest, so it's quite large. It's double the size of the LAPD training facility, just to give you an idea. And there's been very little buy-in from local constituency. It's not just the activists that have been here on the ground camping out inside the forest that are against it. But they had a meeting with 17 hours of constituencies giving testimony, and 70% of the comments were against building Cop City. So the question remains, why is it that the city council, the mayor, are going ahead with this and ignoring what their constituent wants? Well, a lot of folks are telling me that they think it's about money. The police foundation is supported by large corporations, corporations including Wells Fargo, Home Depot, Waffle House, Amazon, Delta Airlines, J.P. Morgan Chase. And the Mayor Dickens had on his transition committee the CEO of the Police Foundation. And I've also been told that there's an area called Buckhead County, which is a wealthy area of Atlanta, that strongly supports the building of Cop City. Most of that county, I think is important to note, is Democratic. They went for a Democratic mayor and also Biden in the last election. So it's definitely not just a GOP thing that's happening here.